A very pleasant morning to all of you all, my dear children. Am I audible to you all? Is my audio clear? Thank you. I hope this day is going to be a very fantastic day for you all. Okay. To begin with, is there any doubt with the prose? Question answer, short answer, synonyms and antonyms, etc. etc. I hope you all are crystal clear with it because the way you all have understood it is remarkable, my dear children. Congrats for understanding like this. All the lessons, if you all understand like this, definitely you all are going to rock on with the examination when you face it. You'll hardly just have to look at the book. That's more than enough. Okay? Very good. That's my dear spirited children. So today we'll look into the poem part. Okay? The appreciation questions plus everything we are going to see. Let me share my document right now for you all. I'm sorry, just a minute. Okay. I hope the screen is visible to you all, dear children. Is it clear? I'll definitely zoom in for you all. Don't worry. Now listen to me carefully, my dear children. When it comes to the poetic device or figure of speech, I told you all know what are the figures of speech which are available here. Metaphor. So plenty we have seen, no? Is there any doubt with the figures of speech, ma? Hyperbole, personification, metaphor, alliteration, assonance, anaphora, rhyming words, rhyme scheme. So that one. So the figures of speech alone, you'll have to rely upon the poem entirely. Got it? I will not say you from where the question will be. So the question might be given in the ESC or sometimes it will not be given. Definitely, when it comes to a lesson, you have to read it on the whole. So don't say, sir, in the material you haven't given this question. How am I going to answer? That's why we are teaching y'all everything in depth. Is that clear, my dear children? I'm not threatening y'all. So this is how we have to learn. The holistic learning has to play a very important role here. Is it clear, dear children? Don't worry. The question is not going to be that hard. I promise you. For y'all, even the hardest question paper is going to be very easy when it comes to English paper. I assure that alone. Because y'all are learning so beautifully. So now coming to the memory lines, my dear children. So there are 16 lines to be memorized. Here you don't have any option. So you have to memorize all the 16 lines and you have to be clear that from any particular line, your memory poem will start. Because you're going to write hardly 4 lines or 5 lines. Is that clear, ma? Alliteration is there, Srinija. First line, alliteration alone is there. Okay. So you'll have to prepare yourself coming to the memory poem. So a typical homework has been given. So it will be shared on Friday, I guess. I'm not sure on which day I have given this homework. On that particular day, spend your time only on memory poem. Okay. So I request you all to ask your parents to ask you all from any line from the book. Ask them to ask. Give the book to them. Ask them to ask at any particular line. From any particular line they are telling, no, the beginning word, you can start with it and write. That's how you have to get trained when it comes to memory lines. Because on the whole, if you just read it, it is going to be very, very, very hard. I couldn't get you, Srinija. Srinija says something. The first line, the imaginary sentence of the horse. No, obviously. Oh, second stanza, first line. Are you talking about second stanza, first line, ma? Or the first stanza, first line? Second stanza, first line, the horse is there, so it is personified, right? Personification is used there because a horse can't think. Only human beings can think. We are having the sixth sense. Is that clear, Srinija? Any doubts with the poem? Very good. Get clarified then and there, my dear. Okay, that's okay. We have already discussed everything. Is there any doubt with the memory poem and the poetic devices? I mean the figures of speech. Is there any doubt? If you don't have any doubt, we can continue with the ERCD urchin. Okay, that's my brilliant children. So ERC is nothing but you all would have done it earlier also. So 2 or 4 lines or even 5 lines might be given there. Based on the above lines, the questions will be asked and we are supposed to give the answer, right? So look at the question number 1. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So you have to understand the meaning of those first 2 lines. Okay, now tell me the answer. Who does he refer? Who does he refer? Who is that he? He will not see me stopping here. The narrator says that no. Who is that he? That he refers to the landowner. Okay? The landowner, the owner of the land. Anything you can write there. I hope I have made it clear for you all. Identify the season with these lines. What is the season? Fill up with snow. Snowy season is winter. Okay? The season referred here is winter. Or simply you can write it like this. The season is winter. Okay. So apart from these, what might be possible questions? I'll tell you. Okay. Bring out the alliterated words from line number 1. Landlord cannot be written Ritu Varshini. Okay. So what is the alliterated words or pick out the words in alliteration in line number 1? When I say line number 1, it is the line number 1 of this particular 2 lines which are given there. So he will not see me stopping here. So Yadu, very good. You have given he and here. How I asked you to write ma? He hyphen here is alliterated there. Is that only word which is alliterated there? Only he and here is alliterated there. Any other alliteration? Yes, Srinija has given C. C and stopping is also alliterated. While writing, how you are supposed to write is he hyphen here, comma, C hyphen stopping are the words in alliteration in the first line. So that's how you have to write. You should not write only one, any one. You're going to write both the words in alliteration. Okay. Pick out the words in alliteration in the second line. Pick out the words in alliteration in the second line, my dear children. To watch his woods fill up with snow. Watch hyphen woods. Very good, Srinija and Raju Rishika. You all have given the right answer. What? Did you all forget the alliterated words, my dear children? Yes. You all are on tune. Words and watch and woods are the alliterated words. Okay. Is there any confusion here? Do you all have any confusion? Watch woods and with says yes, Rajarishika, I accept. I agree with you. Okay, fine. Coming to the second sentence, second line of the poem. In fact, there are 2 lines. So in print, it has been given like a single line. Okay. My horse must think it queer. So that is line number 1 for you. The next line is to stop without a farmhouse near. Okay. To stop without a farmhouse near is going to be the second line. Okay. Now tell me who is the speaker. So you can simply write it as the narrator is the speaker here. But obviously, you have to write it as the poet Robert Frost is the speaker. Okay, you have to be precise with the word. If you say Robert Frost, we don't know who is Robert Frost here. So while writing, you have to write like this: the poet Robert Frost is the speaker here. Very good, my dear children. Why should the horse think it queer? Why should the horse think it queer? Queer means strange. See, the horse should think it queer because to stop without a farmhouse near, because there is no farmhouse to stop there. That's why the horse is feeling strange. I hope you will be able to write this answer. Now look at the third question. Pick out the rhyming words. When I say rhyming words, the last word of each line. Queer hyphen near. So these are the rhyming words which are available in the sentence. Okay, fine. Let's move on to question number 3. Any doubts with question number 2, my dear children? Is there any doubts? Okay, we'll move on to the third question. Here also 2 lines have been given as single line. Okay, you have to imagine it as 2 lines. He gives his harness bells a shake. That's line number 1 for you. To ask if there is some mistake. That's the second line for you. Okay. Whom does he refers to in these lines? He gives his harness bell a shake. Who's that he? He refers to the horse. Very good, my dear children. He refers to the horse here. Okay. Why does he give the harness bell a shake? Why is he giving it a shake? It's given here. The horse gives his harness bell a shake to get his master's attention. Okay? To get his master's attention, or like Rahini wrote, you can write if there is any mistake. So you can write that also. That's not wrong. There's no wrong in it. Very good. Our way. O-U-R, Srinija. Okay. How does the horse communicate with the poet? How did it communicate with the poet? The horse communicates with the sound, with the bell sound, right? With the sound of the bell, it communicates. Yes, by shaking its bell. Very good, my dear children. You are very creative. You are giving multiple answers. That's what I expect from my children. Very good. Keep it up. Now coming to the figures of speech. Okay. Now tell me. He gives his harness bell a shake. Identify the figure of speech which is available there. In line number 1, tell me the figure of speech which is there. He gives his harness bell a shake. Yadu, you have picked it out really great. Very good, very good. Hats off to you, Yadu. Personification is employed there. Okay. Personification is the figure of speech given there or employed there. You can write like that. Very good. Very good. Now keep it up. In the second line also there is personification only. Yes or no? To ask if there is some mistake. So here also personification is used. Can a horse go and ask, hello gentlemen, is there any mistake? Definitely a horse cannot ask. It is the quality of a human being. So personification is employed here. Okay. Is there any alliteration found in the first line? He gives his harness bell a shake. Any alliteration? Pick out the alliteration in line number 1. He gives his harness bells a shake. He, harness, he, his, and harness. All 3 words are there, no? He, hyphen, his, hyphen, harness. Yeah, obviously you can use not only 3 words, ma. Even there are 100 words in that line with the same letter, starting with the same letter, you can use it there. Don't worry. It's not necessary that only 2 words have to be picked. Okay, second line. Bring out the anaphora. So I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Bring out the assonance from the line number 2. Rajarishika, very good. Bring out the assonance from the line number 2. I told you, alliteration starts with the letters except A, E, I, O, U, and assonance only starts with the letters like A, E, I, O, U. Okay. If hyphen is are the words in assonance in the above line. Okay. So that's how it will come. Is there any doubts here, my dear children? Any doubts? Any doubts? Not Yadu. Is and is will never become assonance. My dear children. Yeah, I have muted. Yeah, obviously. Thank you, Yobaradi. I was muted only, ma. Okay. Yes, Maria Dominic Weber. Am I audible to you all right now, dear children? Okay. There was a small work to be done. That's why I muted myself. My apologies for it. Okay, let's move on to question number 4, dear children. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. That's one line for you. The next line is, but I have promises to keep. Okay, now see, how are the woods? You have to describe the beauty of it. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, right? The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. Who does I refer to? I have promises to keep, right? I refers to the poet Robert Frost. You have to write it like that, my dear children. Poet Robert Frost. Okay. Next question. What are the promises the speaker is talking about? What are the promises he's talking about? The speaker is talking about the duties to do before his death. Okay. The speaker is talking about the duties to do before his death. Fine. Okay. Coming to the figure of speech. Okay. Coming to the figure of speech. Tell me what is the figure of speech which is employed in line number 1? The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. Could you tell me the figure of speech which is employed in first line? Dark and deep. I told you all, no, deep. Deep means what? It's not assonance, ma. Dark and deep. Yes, I didn't ask about alliteration. I'm talking about figure of speech. Metaphor is used there. Yes or no? I told you no. Deep means what? It is very far away. That's why metaphor is used there. So I hope you all have understood it. You all can make a note of it, my dear children. Metaphor. Metaphor is used there. Okay, now tell me, pick out the alliterated words from line number 1. Pick out the alliterated words from line number 1. Now only your answer will synchronize here. Dark hyphen deep is the alliterated words. Very good, my dear children. Dark hyphen deep. Okay? Okay. Right. Let's move on to question number 5. Question number 5. Okay. And miles to go before I sleep. That's one line for you. And miles to go before I sleep. There are 2 lines which are repeated. Okay. Why has the poet repeated the last line? Why has he repeated the last line? The poet repeated the last line to make a strong claim. Okay. To make a strong claim. The poet repeated the last line to make a strong claim. Okay. Explain miles to go before I sleep. Could you explain miles to go before I sleep? The poet has so many duties in his life. He wants to complete all before his death. Okay. So he has plenty of duties to do. He wants to complete it before his death. So that's what he says through Miles to go before I sleep. Okay. Now tell me, what is the figure of speech employed here, ma? What is the figure of speech employed here? And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Two lines starting with the same word, which means what is it? No, Srinija, I didn't say it is a metaphor. Anaphora. Anaphora. See, both the lines starting with the same letter means it is anaphora. Is that clear, dear children? It's anaphora for you, right? Please take a note of it. It's very, very, very important, dear children. Is that clear? Any doubts with question number 5? Is there any doubt with the question number 5, dear children? Do you all have any doubts? Okay, there's no doubt for Srinija. Ashwin Kumar, anaphora means two lines starting with the same word. Say, for example, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Both the lines starts with the first word as and. Yes or no? If it starts like that, it is known as anaphora. It is not repeated. It's not repetition there. It is known as anaphora for you. Is that clear, ma? Okay, fine. Let's move on to question number 6. Whose woods these are, I think. That's it, Rajarishika. That's all. That is the figure of speech. I guess I didn't say this anaphora alone, I guess. My apologies to you all, ma. I'm sorry. Okay. Whose woods these are, I think. I know. That's first line for you. His house is in the village, though. That is the second line here. Okay. Who does I refer to? Who does I refer to? I refers to the poet Robert Frost. Okay. Where is the house, my dear children? Where is the house of the owner of the wood? Yes, the house is in the village. Okay. Okay, now tell me, bring out the rhyming words from the above two lines. Bring out the rhyming words from the above two lines. First line ends with no, second line ends with though. So bring out the rhyming words from the above two lines. No hyphen though. Very good. Very good, my dear children. That's spot on. That's how you have to listen to it. Okay. Let's move on with question number 7. Okay. So we have already seen the alliterated words from there, right? Alliteration we have seen from the first line. Whose, woods, W is alliterated, right? Okay. Question number 7. Between the woods and frozen lake, that's first line for you. The darkest evening of the year is the second line. Okay. How is the lake? What is the state of condition of the lake? The lake is frozen. Okay. The lake is frozen. Okay. What does the poet see near? What does the poet see near? The poet sees a farmhouse near. Okay. Yes, Maria Dominic Vivin. Very good, ma. Very good, Raja Rishika. Very good, Yadu. Very good. Very good, all my dear children. Okay. A farmhouse near. Okay. Who stands between woods and frozen lake? Who is standing between the woods and the frozen lake? The poet on his horse. We can't say the poet and the horse because they are not standing next to. The poet is sitting on top of the horse, so you have to say it like this. The poet on his horse stands between the woods and the frozen lake. Okay. What is the speciality of the day, my dear children? What is the speciality of the day? The day is the darkest evening of the day of the year. Okay. Now tell me, identify the figure of speech in line number 2. Identify the figure of speech in line number 2, dear children. Yes. Hyperbole. Very good, very good. Those who said it, really very brilliant. Hyperbole. Very good, Niranjana Devi. Keep it up, ma. It was you first to tell the answer first. Yadu, congratulations. Srinija and Netra have given the right answer. Hyperbole is the figure of speech which is employed there. Okay. Next question. Are you able to understand up to question number 7, dear children? Okay. Next question. The only other sounds the sweep. That's one line number 1 for you. Okay. The only other sounds the sweep. That's line number 1. Of easy wind and downy flake. That is line number 2 for you. Okay. Describe the sounds in the poem. What are the sounds which are applied there in the poem? Ma? The sounds of wind and snow. Okay. The sounds of wind and snow. Explain downy flake. What is downy flake? Snow is falling as downy flake. Okay, snowfall is known as downy flake here. Snowfall. It is not snow, my dear children. Snow is falling. Snowfall. Snow is falling as a downy flake. Okay, that's it. Okay, bring out the words in assonance in line number 1. Rajya Rishika has given the answer. Very good. Bring out the words in assonance in line number 1. Only hyphen other. Both the words starts with the letter O. Yes or no? So that is assonance for you. Only hyphen other. Okay. Bring in the words in alliteration in line number 1. Alliterated words. In line number 1. Snow hyphen sweep. Very good. Very good, my dears. Very good. Keep it up. Okay. Bring out the figure of speech in line number 2, ma. Of easy wind and downy flake. What is the figure of speech employed there, ma? Figure of speech employed there. Can somebody tell me? What is downy flake? Downy flake compared to? Downy flake is compared to snowfall. What is it? It is a metaphor. Okay? It is a metaphor. Yes or no? It is a metaphor. It's not metal. Srinija. Metaphor. Okay. Is there any doubt with the ERCs, my dear children? Is there any doubts? Any doubts with the ERC? Okay, fine. So next is answer the following paragraph. As I said, look there, the title of the poem has to be given first. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Name of the poet must be the second one. Robert Frost. I have given it as Robert Browning. I'm really sorry, my dear children. It is Robert Frost. You can change it as Robert Frost. And look at the theme. What is the theme here? Keeping promises. Okay. Robert Frost is one of the greatest American poets. So he is one of the greatest American poets. And he has received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. So 4 Pulitzer Awards he have won. In this poem, he narrates his travel through woods in the horse once. Yes, that's what I asked you to change, Yadu. It's Robert Frost. So he talks about the travel in the forest with his horse once. Okay. It was an evening time. It was evening time, and it was the darkest evening of the year. The woods were filled with snowfall. The woods were covered with snow. Okay. He stopped his horse near the woods. He stopped his horse in the forest, right? Textual lines are very important. Poetical lines are very important. Look here. What are the lines I have employed? My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. See? His horse shook its head. It is shaking its head because it was not their usual route and there was no farmhouse nearby. It wasn't the usual route which they had taken by. It is something new. That's why the horse was a little bit confused. He was attracted by the deep, dark silence of his surrounding. The poet, the narrator, was attracted by the deep, dark silence of his surrounding. He decided to spend his time there. He wanted to spend some time there. Okay, see, and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep is the second couple of words which I have employed there, because usually we have to write a poem with the textual quotation. His conscience tickled him that he has to complete a lot of works before his death. He had to complete a lots of work before his death. Okay. The speaker choice is to enjoy the beauty and peace of the snowy evening, but the society condemns it. He wanted to enjoy the forest, but the society condemns it because he has a lot of work to do. So that's why what he can do, he can't stop there. So he continues his journey. Okay. The moral which is given there is choice is shaped by destiny. Okay. A very beautiful paragraph. So you can write it by your own, I think so. Okay. Is that clear, my dear children? Fine. Let's call it a day. Thank you very much, my dear children. Have a great day.